Number 28 is another one that does not have a reference angle because my analogy of getting to the hospital as quick as you can, it just goes straight up. It doesn't make a triangle. There is no reference angle. So again, for this one, we need to use the unit circle. And this is 0, -1. So we use the coordinates with the unit circle. And secant is 1 over cosine theta. Okay, and remember that this is cosine and sine. Also, cosecant, just so you know, cosecant theta is 1 over sine of theta. And tangent and cotangent are flipped also. Okay, so this is just a side note. So 1 over cosine theta, well my cosine is 0, so I have 1 over 0, so this one again is undefined. Okay. Now we're going to get into some with degrees. And what we need to do is we need to find coterminal measurements, coterminal angles that will help us know better what our reference angle will be. So for example, number 29, I have -750. Well, that is hard to know what my reference angle is. So I am going to kind of unwind it. So -750, I'm going to unwind it. So I'm going to add 360. That gives me -390. These are all degrees. And that still doesn't help me that much, so I'm going to unwind it again. And this gives me -30 degrees. Well, that's what this is right here. It's -30 degrees. Well, remember that reference angles are always positive. So this is a 30-degree angle, and now I can figure out what sine is. So my hypotenuse is 1. This is -1/2. And this is √3 over 2. So sine of 30 degrees here is opposite over hypotenuse. So my answer is -1/2. Okay. Again, over here, -315 degrees, I don't really know. I mean, I could think, what do I need to get, how many degrees do I need to get to -360? But kind of another way of doing that is by taking your -315 degrees and adding 360 to it. Again, you're undoing to get back around, okay? And we get 45 degrees. All right, so 45 degrees means I'm going to have 1 is my hypotenuse, √2 over 2 on this side, and √2 over 2 on this side, because it is an isosceles triangle. And cosine is my adjacent over my hypotenuse, which is just √2 over 2. Okay, here we got another one. A lot of very curly ones. Okay, so I'm going to uncurl it. 600 minus 360 gives me 240. But I've noticed with this one that I've gone past 180. I need to come back to 180 to get my reference angle. So I'm actually going to subtract 180 from here, and that gives me 60 degrees. So this is a 60-degree angle. Here's 1. Here's -1/2. Here's, sorry, there's kind of a mess over here. -√3 over 2. And I want the sine, which is opposite over my hypotenuse. So So my answer is negative root 3 over 2. Okay, cotangent. Again, I'm going to undo it so I can see better what I have. So 660 minus 360 is 300. And if I go around again, I get negative 60 degrees. And it looks like that. It looks like negative 60 degrees. So this is 60 degrees. So this is 1. This is 1/2. This is negative root 3 over 2. And we want cotangent. Remember that it's not TOA, it's the opposite of that. So adjacent over hypotenuse is going to be 1/2 divided by negative root 3 over 2. Okay, 2's cancel, because if I keep change flip, they'll cancel out. I'm left with negative 1 over root 3, and I need to get rid of that radical, so I end up with negative root 3 over 3. Okay, last two. Number 33, we've got tangent of theta. And again, I'm using reference angles, not the unit circle. Okay, 420. Want to wrap my head around it a little bit better. I'm going to subtract 360, and I get 60 degrees. So this is 60 degrees. I have 1/1/2 root 3 over 2. And this is tangent. So this is OA. This is opposite over adjacent. So root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. The 2's cancel, and I get root 3. Okay, and finally, this last one, another real curly one, 690 degrees. I'm going to unwind it. So this gives me 330 degrees, and again, I'm going to unwind it again just to see what I get. And I get negative 30 degrees. So this is 30 degrees. The hypotenuse is always positive, by the way. I think I've said that before, but yeah, it's always positive. So the short end here is 1/2. This is root 3 over 2. This is a negative because I'm down below. Okay, and the cosine is my adjacent over the hypotenuse. So the answer is root 3 over 2. Okay. Like I said, I did almost all these problems using reference angles. You can do it using the unit circle. And I did have to use the unit circle for number 21 and number 28 because we can't make reference angles when they're on the X and Y axis. So as always, if you have any questions, let me know.